Perfect. Man, we did it again. We did it again.
Another one.
Man, well, world, what up? To the people still watching. You guys are real ones, Here on the ground. Welcome to another episode of Building with Mars and Big Esco. Obviously, you can see I'm Big Esco. This is Mars. And in between us, man, I mean, three's a company.
Right.
This guy right here, our brother Logik.
What's the
Man,
word?
what's up, man?
Yo.
How you feeling, man?
I'm blessed, G. Can't even complain, dog. Get to
That's,
make shit for a living, dog. Can't even.
that's what's up, man.
No.
I'm gonna give you a proper introduction.
Yeah.
Now, well, no, seriously, just for a little context. So this podcast was started by two, advertising professionals. That's kind of the purpose of this. We were like, hey, we need to hear from more Black people in the advertising and marketing space. Um, and you were in the advertising and marketing space before both of us. And I would say you actually helped both of us get into the space. So it was only right. We had to get you on the show for sure. But Logik is, I guess technically in the world of advertising, you're a creative director. What are you?
Yep.
Creative
Yeah.
Creative director.
Started off as an art director. Just works for all the agencies that you want to
Mhm.
work for, and it works for all the people that you want to work with. And now, I don't even know what you're doing, man. You just last time heard from you, you was in Asia.
Right.
So what's up with you now?
Yeah, man. Just taking a lot of the foundation that I learned, processes, business acumen, level of fidelity of the output of the work. And I've been in the tech founder market. Like when I was in Asia, I was there for a hacker house. So it's people from all over the world: Russia, Ukraine, South Korea, China, America, whatever. And we were all there with our own goals. And we were just like co-working, living in Moy Nay, Vietnam, in these crazy villas, cheap ass, beautiful ass villas right at the ocean. And we was just checking in with each other on Monday, like what you working on, doing show and tells on Fridays. And it was just like people that worked at like, oh, we lost Mars.
That's all
Uh
good. He'll be back.
we was like people from like Meta was working there, etc. And people full stack engineers, people in meditation. And what it was just like this crazy world of cross pollination. And it was like just a bunch of people just working together, helping each other, learning from each other. Um, and it really fucked me up in a great way. Um, and right now I'm just like, instead of just putting all my eggs into my basket of making other people's dreams come true, I've learned that just where we were at, a like us being Black Americans, we got a keen perspective that isn't necessarily nurtured in marketing advertising because it's bastardized by other people's perspectives, like writing for other characters, writing for other perspectives. But once we combine our lived experience with marketing advertising know-how, and then when I've learned that I've with the tech stuff, and I'll end it here, but it's not a lot of people in the tech industry that look like us with comprehension. That it's like people that created social media or people that don't have social skills making social media, right? So then once you, it's like when the phones came out, they couldn't account for dark skinned people in the photos or Asian people's faces unlocking each other's phones. Once you add people that represent a different ecosystem or perspective, it's unlimited. And I think and that's where I find myself in a sweet spot to really be infectious, and it's just been addicting.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love the little piece you just were saying about the people who made social media barely have social skills. We kind of talk on that on here. I talk shit about them on my Substack and all that from time to time, but I think with something that you kind of put me on to, and probably I'm imagining Ryan as well, but like the whole vibe coding wave. I know you were kind of like a little you were probably one of the first people I heard talk about it outside of like some random people on YouTube on like tech channels I check out from time to time. But you really inspired me to go and just like check it out and all of that. And since then, I've seen more and more news coverage of it, more people talking about things that they built and all of that. And I'm just kind of like, wow. I mean, this sort of AI wave has the potential to really democratize who can do what with the technology that everybody has access to. And I think what that's going to look like in the next 5, 10 years, maybe even two, we'll start to see some real things like because this shit's moving pretty fast. I think it's a lot of like big companies, which I know we're going to touch on in some degree a little bit later on in the conversation, but I think they scared, bro, and they also know that they need to capitalize off of it for profit, but the control is moving away from them a little bit more. So it's going to be an interesting conversation hearing some of your perspective across all of this.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I kind of do. I mean, just want to jump into it, really,
shit, let's hit it.
because hey, for the audience, I have vibe coded my first website. This is actually fitting because Julian made the first Souls of Liberty website,
Oh
and
yeah.
you teaching me kind of just about like concepting big ideas. Like we're starting at the very basics. You know what I mean? To now, I mean, I can't tell you anything about coding. Not one thing. Like, I'm not even kidding. You know what I'm saying? I could copy and paste, embed some shit into a blog.
Right,
That's
right,
about the
right.
extent of my coding ability. And I was able to like deploy it. You know what I'm saying? Like I do understand UX, you know what I'm saying, from just our agency life and kind of learning that kind of thing and, you know, optimization and all the other key terms that we learn. But that shit is out the window now for
Yeah,
the most part, So I know as a writer, I'm not as intimidated by AI as people might assume. And from what I've read, like most people don't actually use it for like just strictly from zero to give me the full caption, or they like people are inputting stuff into AI, and then that's kind of the way that people use it. But as a as like a creative director, art director, graphic designer, animator, like you're all the visual things. Like, how do you see the landscape of AI affecting your, I don't know, career, life? I don't even know how to put this shit anymore. Like, I don't know what we have at this point.
he's pretty optimistic about it. So even thinking like career and life, Julian, like shit, I'm about to take this shit and run with it, damn near. But there are other things as well. So I probably have some pushback or some concerns. But what say you,
Yeah, I
Julian?
mean, it's
Your
always
point of
like
view.
that scary thing, right? But I think it was the same thing when I was early into blockchain. People want to come out of the woodwork talking about what about the ecological, implications about it. And I'm like, oh, this is when you want me to have a moral compass when my black ass is all of a sudden able to have financial sovereignty over my own data, blah, blah, blah. And I'm early, and now you all of a sudden want me to take in consideration putting a hole in the ozone layer and let all of the quintessential idea of a tech founder or these tech people continue to win, and you wearing some Forever 21 fast fashion shit. So it's like pick your battle. So the same thing goes into like AI. Like we can talk about like you can't put the genie back into the bottle is out, right? So the whole idea of the Terminator thing, which the author said he didn't really write it with a negative disposition about what AI can do. It was more of a warning to the future of what AI can do, more so than like that's what he envisioned it could be. I mean, what it would be. So like even in this thing for me is like it would be it would be not in our interest to take advantage of what's happening right now in the current state of what's happening, because in the grander scheme of things, it's still early. And the reason why I was like calling you all, like I was like, y'all want to get on a call? Like I call Adrian, I call Ja, like I will take you through this because I value your perspectives and I know how much y'all love culture. I know how much I love attention to detail. I know that y'all perspectives and y'all point of views isn't able to be harnessed in a way because of lack of developers on your team or lack of know-how about coding, like you said. And I was like one of few people that had a programmer on my team early when I was after I left Google, and I was able to deploy stuff in blockchain, which gave me a leg up, right? Because I've been working in tech, blah blah blah. But now it's like I'm not the only one that you don't need me to design to mock up the thing that you wrote language for. Y'all can, or the strategy or whatever, these things can be, but the difference is the AI is only as good as the pilot driving it.
Mhm.
So it's going to reaffirm you like, oh my God, you're a genius and all this. But once you get past those iterations and realize that no, give me critical feedback, etc., that now like that website that you did, I just wanted you like when Mars, that's why I just showed y'all a paragraph and show what it came out with, because I know once you do that one iteration, it will become an addictive situation for you to continue to push further as to how deep this rabbit hole can go. So for me, it's like as much as I know that I can run loops around the quintessential tech person, especially with the tools that are in front of me. And I just want my brothers and sisters, y'all, in our community at large, to take advantage, and to have the layer that's underneath it, because right now everybody just playing on the surface, but that shit goes deep, and I'm so excited for it because now it's even in the playing field.
Yeah, no, that's real, man. I definitely feel you on a lot of that. I guess I'm probably more of the environmentally conscious person of the group or whatever. But outside of the environmental concerns and like, I think another big thing is probably, the issue with jobs and all of that that's concerned. And now even with this new anthropic news, maybe even the chat GPT stuff a couple of weeks ago, maybe like the concept of war. I do think that we, maybe not us right now in this, but like as a broader society, we do need to kind of reel in some of the ethics of how this shit works. Because like, yeah, fast fashion is a thing, but people talk a lot about fast fashion and how it's bad for the environment. Same with our foods. Like people do have these conversations. Mainstream media and big oil have like done a lot to fund not talking about the climate change and shit like that. But like people do have these conversations. And Ryan had a good line a while ago that we tend to use sometimes. It's like, it's just not worth the treat, bro. It's not worth the treat. And like we really are kind of doing
Worth
some
the tree.
worth a treat. Yeah.
Like
Like,
it really just
the amount of water usage that really goes into a simple prompt. Like, bro, it's data centers that use as much water as like a small town in like a day.
Yeah, but I get it. But what detriment do we just keep pussyfooting around the ecological implications and hoping they fix it versus getting ahead of the game? Like we only make a certain percentage of the. I'm about to blow a hole through the ozone on my prompts. Like I feel you,
if
but
that's
like I'm not. I can't afford to not be ahead of the game.
No, for sure. I mean, well, we all three obviously use it, so it's not necessarily saying like death to AI. I'm like I say, it's I think not a conversation for us. Like literally, the policymakers do need to be doing something about this, as well as a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
It's just another thing in the big ass bucket of problems to fill.
yeah,
But even less about the environment impacts because we're dealing with so much of that anyway. The like job thing is a big deal, and you are right. Like if you want to kind of get ahead of what's about to come, you should probably hop on this wave. So I'm definitely not like telling nobody not to do it, but like ethics and just like thinking about the impact of what you're doing. A dope dealer should at least still have a conscience. Some don't, but many also do. So this is just another one of those things to just be kind of considering the impact of what you're actually doing, and not necessarily you with the prompt, but more of like what we're doing to society by letting these motherfuckers run free. But I see Esco has something
Yeah.
I think he was about to hop in too.
well, no, I agree. I think both of y'all are making really critical points that as minorities, we actually can't afford to not keep up. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what I asked him about, like his like our career and his career in particular. Like, we actually can't afford to not keep up, but we are usually the ones to think about how to do things the most responsible as well. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
to me, it obviously shows that like there is a lack of infrastructure in our country, because if we're at this point now to where we're on the precipice of this new technology, well, we should already be on the precipice of a new way to get energy. And it's not that
Exactly.
it's not possible and we can't make hella money off of it. We're just not trying to. And it's just some old motherfuckers that's just trying to keep an old game going. That
Hmm.
they're about to,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like in real life, they can't be working more than 15 years. And so to your point,
Right.
we're on the
Right.
turn of this thing that for a lot of CEOs and people, they are making the mistake of cutting people without kind of actually knowing like the limits, I would say. Like if you were to have a certain level of client today, even to your point, Julian, it's like if you as a person can't actually make the thing, that certain output that you want, it don't matter what the machine can do or what the computer power is. It's like you technically still need people to power it. Now, maybe you need, I think what it's showing is that in corporate America, there are a lot of mediocre people. And so, yeah, maybe a lot of mediocre people or people in unfortunate situations might lose their job. But it's like if you're cutting edge, which is what everybody should be trying to do, then you're going to succeed kind of to some degree.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's like the internet. If you were dumb enough to not kind of understand internet, well, now we're writing emails, so I guess you're fired because you can't write an email.
Right, 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 right. It's
I
like
don't
if
know
we
if
if
that
we really
machine
had like
can.
nuclear or so, like if we were headed the game with like nuclear or solar energy and the impact wasn't as bad as it is, because I know you probably didn't seen like Sam Altman got a Molotov thrown at his crib. I think maybe
Yeah.
twice now, and like some people right outside of St. Louis. I think it might have been like Festus or something like that. The city council like voted to still approve a data center like a week before election day. All of the motherfuckers that voted in favor of it got voted out.
They
Like
all got
there's a
voted out.
big social resistance to get it against it. I'm sure for many working class people, especially not necessarily people that's in a privileged position like us, we have these nice kind of sexy sounding white collar jobs and shit like that. But it's somebody that works at like a call center that has a family that might be, getting replaced by damn
They could
AI
AI call. Yeah.
robocall, so I think there are like real implications for also people of color. We tend to work a lot of those jobs or whatever. Or even on the government side, when they did that big Doge swipe of everybody and they just started trying to implement AI and a bunch of stuff, it had to bring people back because we planes was literally crashing into each other in the sky. So it's like, there are like literally real world implications. So less of an indictment on you, but like I think what Ryan was saying, I think that's really the point. Like we do got to up our infrastructure game in general. Like China got fucking solar panel like cities, like build outs the size of cities that's powering shit 2,000 miles away in they like actual mainland or whatever. So
Yeah.
there's definitely people around the world that are doing things differently than what we're doing.
Yeah, for
But like
sure.
China also emphasized educating billions of young engineers essentially. So like all of them motherfuckers over there know how to fix problems. Also on American side, we emphasize a lot of art, creativity, culture, things like that. Culture is still our number one export. And you're seeing the same way through the creative economy, and everybody want to be a rapper or painting and all that stuff nowadays. The cream really rises to the top, but you get one fire like piece of generative AI video per every like 1,000 piece of bullshit like AI slop that's out there too. So it's a really wonky
But
thing
every
because at
time
the end
you
of the
use
day,
Google, like they even close
that's
the
also a
index
thing.
on Google where you only can
Absolutely.
like search 10 pages deep because they don't want other people AI things to crawl Google so Gemini can reign supreme. But now even when you go to Google, you don't even go to nobody's webpage. It
You
just
just look
gives
at the
you an
video.
AI
Yeah, yeah,
generated
yeah,
response.
yeah,
So
yeah.
literally every person on the planet is using
AI.
AI every day. But then and Google, I mean, I'm sure they're doing some things or whatever as based on me working there and what I see with their North Star is. But even on like taking it from a grander scheme, we were talking about like the cream rises to the top, but that's a capitalistic mindset. Just that, like America as a fundamental society in its baseline does not champion creative ideas that is implemented into our infrastructures from city to city. On the other hand, China, they do implement, in Japan, they do implement creative ideas and things into public bathrooms, into parks, and all that type of stuff, astronomically higher than what America does. Which is why when you go through our stuff, our technology is lacking, our infrastructure is like building architecture is all outdated. But then we go to other places, everything seems more automated and catered to the person, which is way different. You didn't get into fucking
Yeah.
healthcare, but yeah.
I mean, hey, the AI conversation leads you down a lot of different
Yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah. Exactly,
It's all
exactly.
coming. It's the tide is coming. The tide is rolling for sure.
Yeah. Speaking of Asia, kind of what was that? What was that like over there? I mean, you know, we were kind of living vicariously through you on your IG story and all of that and stuff you might share, but like, you know, especially with the particular technological climate we're in, also socio-politically, it's a lot of like volatility and different things. Like a lot of gears are spinning in this big clock called the world right now. What was that like over there outside of, you know, your retreat
The
experience?
yeah, no, I think one, uh we're brainwashed in America in regards to like the way we perceive other countries. You can just sit on the internet where we don't know where shit is on the planet. Like we can't even name continents and countries. It's trash. But when I was there, I was in Viet. For those who don't know, I was in Vietnam and then I went to Thailand. Vietnam is one of the cheapest places I've ever seen or been to. And when I was there, I realized that we're getting robbed, and especially because I live in Los Angeles, where you would think, because I think the way we perceive Vietnam as a third world country. Like my dad told his best friend Keith that I was in Vietnam. He's like, "What Julian doing over there? He's shitting in the bucket," and
Oh wow.
you know, just like the idea of what
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
don't know what the perception of what Vietnam is. And when I was there, it's not like you trading the uh, value of life for cheap, like for how much you spend for it.
Mm,
Um, like it was nice. It was like an updated country. It was like a mix of old and new. And like from when you get coffee's like dollar 50, and it's with a gold spoon on a wooden plank. And the food is like us three, we can eat a full spread for $4, $3, like, and eat good, right? Like, and it just seemed more democratic. It's a communist country on the surface, but once you get there, it's very capitalistic because you can own your own companies, you can sell like fashion brands, like high end fashion. I went to this compound. I'm getting nice ass pants for like $30. I got you that Stussy shirt. I ain't ship you yet, but it was like $20 or whatever. And it was like it was the value of life, the quality of life. People speak English. The nightlife was there. The environments, like in what you occupy, whether it was coffee shops, shopping, getting food, was nice. And then like we hop on a scooter, like we went around the corner from West Loop to Pilsen. It'll be like 80 cents, dollar ordering food, 60 cents to order food. And it was just like you can live like a king for $1,000 a month.
mm-hmm,
You know what I mean? And then I'm paying
mm-hmm.
2,300 a month for California, and you hate to root everything on financial reasons, but I'm a
Make the world go
solopreneur
round.
and I burn runway. I do a freelance job. I still got to account for $2,300 a month baseline. Then I got to do all the other stuff, the upkeep for LA, etc. And I'm just trying to build a company. So like when I was there, I was like relieved of that back end shit, and I went to the doctor. $20 to see the doctor, and then my prescriptions were like $3 to $5 a piece.
Nice.
So like you don't even need health insurance.
Hey
That's
man.
It was crazy. It was
that's
like I don't need to come. Like that's why I moved out of
So
my apartment. Yeah.
so I mean, what's the benefit of living in LA now? That's
The only
something we
thing,
always talk about is shrinking Hollywood, how that's shrinking.
yeah, yeah,
Shrinking,
yeah.
like, what's the benefit?
well, proximity as to how deals get made. One, going from Chicago to like from LA, I mean from St. Louis to Chicago, I think we can all agree that the fidelity and of conversation in regards to business opportunities and things are astronomically bigger than St. Louis. Which, like Ryan, you went back to St. Louis, but I'm sure the things that you gained living in Chicago, being around other creative people, other hungry people, etc., there was something that you brought back to St. Louis that you couldn't have got if you had stayed there. So like when you go from St. Louis, Chicago to LA, the pockets get deeper. The people of lived experience gets a bit more rich. Yes, there's plastic key things that happen, but you can weed those out, and the opportunities become now an international opportunity. This is where deals get made. This is where things get executed. This is where the dotted lines get signed. So when I get my opportunities, like I wouldn't have never got hip to AI as fast or whatever the opportunities I got had I stayed in Chicago versus being in LA, because I am rubbing shoulders. But now that I have my networks and stuff that I have in LA, I can still take those things from LA and work remotely in Vietnam and get LA financial upkeep or whatever and still be able to do that internationally.
Right.
Like I learned, like I can mature in a different way in LA because it's like everybody that was a 10 in their city come here and be a 7. You know what I'm saying? Or a 6. And I'm not even just saying that on looks wise. I'm saying that in fashion design. I'm saying that. So you learn by proximity about different things that you couldn't learn in your respective city.
That's really interesting because part of the mission that I'm working on being back in St. Louis is trying to prove that obviously what you're talking about, like, yes, the Lakers are in LA. So there's inherently going to be better basketball games in Los Angeles than St. Louis. Like, yes, you know what I'm saying? Just technically speaking. But as we move into a space where YouTube is the number one distributor of content, let's just put it like that, which is a weird way.
Which I thought yeah.
Yes, I guess maybe you could say the quality of
put your plug on your mic.
Yeah, your mic.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Boom.
My bad. I guess you could say that, like, yeah, the quality of guests, if you had a podcast or something like that in LA, would be better. But if I'm from YouTube and I'm in my, like, kind of like the streamers, and I'm in my room, you know what I'm saying? I can broadcast to the world. And so
Anywhere.
to me, it seems like the quality of ideas again have become a lot more quintessential because, to your point, Julian, I mean, that's always been the case with like New York, LA. If you're doing music, Atlanta, Nashville, like, you know what I'm saying? If you're in a tech bro and you're in San Francisco, the Bay, whatever, like, there are obviously epicenters for different types of cultures and things and, you know, economies. But now it's kind of like if you could hoop your ass off and you dunk on everybody, it's gonna go viral if you're in North Dakota and North Carolina finna see that.
Right. You see with your scholarship.
You don't have to go move to the big city no more, for real. Now, yes, there is more competition. There are these other things. Like, obviously, there is a road to follow when you're chasing mastery, when you're chasing excellence, when you're chasing maybe a certain career path. You know what I'm saying? But technically speaking now, you know what I mean? Like, even I feel like that is the problem with agencies. You know what I'm saying? That, like, agencies built themselves on, oh, we are with the epicenter of people, right? It's New York. I can get the best class art directors in the world right here. But then as soon as COVID happened, it's like, well, technically, I can get somebody from around the world.
Right.
And so
And everybody work remote
the
now.
world is, I can hire anybody in the world. So what is the point of me having to go into this office in New York? What we found out is real estate, right? That's why they're making everybody go back to work. And so I think, like, as if I was somebody that's 15 right now watching this, trying to learn from us about what to do, our dreams and goals was to just get out of the city, get out of the city, go to the next thing. I feel like the person that's 15 now, I mean, maybe their goal is to Julian's point, thinking about it more internationally, or is it just about building the thing where the people are going to come to, and then from there, that's the next step. It's not more so about where you are; it's like what you're doing, and that's kind of what I'm most curious about, like in the next 3 to 4 years.
You know what? Just to kind of piggyback corporate slang, but just to kind of piggyback off of what you're saying, though, I've also been kind of like looking at a lot of content about how virality, engagement, how to grow your channels, and like what the different platforms are really receptive to. It does fall a lot on like formats these days as well. Like if you just stick into a format and you pumping or whatever, like the algorithm will throw you in front of people from also all around the world that just would resonate with your content. And that just kind of made me think a little bit about like the people that are doing all of these kind of parties that go on tour all damn year round. Like you might start in a Houston or fuck it, Omaha, Nebraska, nigga, or like Mizzou, some regional big university that like really you captivate on a bunch of like young people from all over the place going to that spot. Now, next thing you know, everybody get a job or whatever, and you kept your brand rolling, your content rolling. Now it's like, fuck it, you go back to St. Louis, you went to Mizzou, but you tap in Atlanta and Dallas and Chicago. So you can go and fuck with your DJ homies and your people in all them other places. Boom, boom, boom. You get enough of a crowd to come up. As long as you get your content, and especially if you do actually put a good 50, $100, $200 on some ad money behind your shit, and as long as you know how to book the right talent in the right place, you don't have to be like the man in a particular city to take your show on the road even these days. Like the internet is really a thing. Now, if you cool, if you are tapped in, if you do a little bit of traveling yourself and your network is deeper, I think you'll be able to kind of like grow faster. But you could truly do some like cool DIY shit and watch that shit grow. And as soon as you start getting you some sponsorship money or a fire merch moment or some virality of some sort, you can really take that and roll with it. I am pretty confident that there is a batch, especially of young, kind of newer DJs coming up out of St. Louis that I think are probably going to be traveling around the country in like the next year or two, off of just pumping on like Instagram and TikTok and shit like that. You already seen it with the music scene, like Cutter, young nigga fire. He moving around LA, New York, Chicago, this, that, and the third, up in certain people's studios. This is just a kid from St. Louis, not to like belittle what he does, but like considering the fact that he's really just a kid from St. Louis and not, like the same monies of the world in Chicago. They was popular in high school and was super plugged in with the whole network. So when they go into Classic Studio, some shit like that, going recording with Boog, whatever the case may be, going fuck with Peasy or something like that. It's like, they known them since they was 14, 15, 16 years old. So you already plugged in to the same place where Young Thug records his music when he's in town and shit like that. But for you to be a kid from St. Louis or a young DJ like Noel on NTS, that's a global radio platform. And she has a residency up in New York. Like, it's just so many different ways of like getting to it. And I'm just thinking a little low St. Louis because before I took my little nap after work, Jay White sent me a video talking about the history of how St. Louis was almost about to be the capital. Like they were going to move the capital from DC to St. Louis. And we lost it by 20 votes. But like, just imagine if that would have happened. And it, also, the city and the county decided not to stay together, led to us kind of getting beat out by Chicago as far as like the biggest city in the region as well. But like, imagine if some of those things, went a certain way, we probably would have been in a different position, but we not. And still look at what we doing, even without that shit. And that's mostly thanks to the internet.
Yeah, I wasn't saying those. I don't think those things are necessarily mutually exclusive. I think about like I used to make home movies when I was a kid, like relentlessly. My cousins come over and make movies, homies come over and making movies, and I was like, and I did that without the internet. And I was like, if I had the internet when I was 10, 11, 12, and how fearless I was like I was just making movies, 2 VCR stacked on top of each other, editing videos, and I was like, if I had that, that would have been nuts. But that wasn't the era for me apparently. But clearly, but I get it. Yes, I don't take anything away from being able to be homegrown, like comedians, DJs, whatever. Like you can the RDC group, like those black guys that do all the anime stuff, like they like live in a burb somewhere doing, and they just like incubate. Like I get it. But there's a reason why people come to Chicago and go to Atlanta and they just tap in and tap out, because iron sharpens iron, no matter what the way you cut it. Because even in your environment, is only you. There's a cap to certain groups. Yes, you should nurture it. But there was a thing with the I think it was Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and I think it was like a fucking J Electronica fucking clip or something like that, where he was talking about it is okay for the man to leave his to leave his community and search for the kingdom, even though those people might not understand why that person is leaving, and is for them to have that discernment to leave, even with the negative murmurs and banter that goes on about that person leaving, and search for the kingdom to bring it back. Now, those are certain levels like I get it, yes, but like also there's vicinity around cross pollinating and getting world perspectives, like business acumen that you cannot get in St. Louis that you will get in Chicago, and so on and so forth. So I'm definitely a thing. But I always tell people to go where you're not supposed to be in order to, become a little bit more well rounded, so you can find the things that you won't get otherwise.
That's a good bar.
Yeah, that was good. I like that. That's a real good way to put that. What else, Mars? Oh, I mean, I guess we obviously got to talk about the playoffs.
Well, yeah, no, but I did want to kind of just ask him, I guess, with you being out in LA, the foot on the ground, because I don't know how much y'all talk about it out there, or even how much you might be, paying attention to the news, because I know you be kind of you was just in Asia type shit or whatever. But like there is a lot of talk kind of about like the declining Hollywood economy of LA, as well as just like a bunch of people that have been moving kind of post Trump or whatever, like down to Austin, Texas, moving tech jobs. That's more Silicon Valley. It is Hollywood, but like on a ground level out in LA, does it really kind of look like the numbers at least show that it's less productions going on out there? But like, do you actually feel that around LA, or is it just kind of like, we all just kicking it still?
No, I mean, I thought you was about to kind of somehow segue that to the playoffs.
No. But we go into
but
it after
yeah. But yeah, for sure. People talk about
Okay.
it, writers, directors,
Okay.
actors, or whatever. Like even, but the thing is, I'm always in like that little alt thing. So like, for instance, I've worked on film and television using AI. Like I've worked on a Ron Howard documentary. I've worked on a Fox network like The Masked Singer. I've worked on some stuff for Publicis Group for AI shit. So it's a lot of people that are traditional editors or visual effects people or producers in film and animation, blah blah blah, are kind of working at AI because it's transitioning that way. But yes, there's something in the water of people definitely leaving. You can feel it. People talk about it often. Yeah.
Okay.
But I did meet. I hoop today as we segue to playoffs. I still hoop like 2 or 3 days a week, maybe 4 if I'm lucky. And I was hooping with this guy. So y'all know the Jeffrey Dahmer movie on Netflix, and then they had the Ed Garland or whatever his name was, that serial killer. He's playing a black serial killer on Netflix. He's like, I got my first lead. He showed me the fucking poster and everything. It's like the Taco Bell killer or some shit like that.
No, I don't know about that. I thought it was gonna be the buddy that was killing the women of the night. It was like a brother. He used to get prostitutes or whatever, and sometimes he'd murder them. They did like an HBO documentary on him, and like
I know that. I seen that.
Yeah, the grim sleeper. I think they was.
Oh yeah. No, this shit.
I'm gonna tap into whatever that is.
Yeah, I was like, that's tight. Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
Man, I haven't watched no murder shit in a long time. I try to stop watching that shit, man.
I'm a true crime guy. I love me some true crime.
I like it, but I just be feeling like, damn, I feel like it's something else better I could be watching right now. That's how I just feel. Like, damn.
I'm one of them people that watch true crime on the way to bed.
That's real. I used to do that. I used to go to sleep to First 48.
Type shit.
I don't know if it's because of the talking, so it's like kind of a quiet show, even though it's about murder, but it's like a super quiet show.
No, for sure.
Low key, I went to bed, and we really can't go to playoffs of this. Low key, I went to bed to FD Signifiers Tyler Perry video.
No.
Have you seen that?
I'm still trying to get bro.
Anything that got Tyler Perry on it, I don't even watch it.
No. This is
it's more critiquing him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, FD Signifier is like a opinionist kind of.
Yeah. Him and Deontay Kyle did a crossover, I believe, at some point. But I would say Deontay Kyle more like cool hood cousin that's really on his enlightenment shit. FD Signify be giving like he actually went to school type of vibe, where it's like, no, it really go this way.
Yeah, it's a good video. It's actually interesting.
Yeah, he be having some shit from time to time.
He do. But nah, man. Well, one, before we go to the playoffs, we crowned 2 champions, University of Michigan and then UCLA. Shout out to them. Shout out to the Fat Five.
Yeah.
Once they brought the Fat Five back, I was like, oh no, Michigan gonna win this year, looky.
Hey, but Slew was. I just want to say I don't keep track of basketball all that or whatever, but Slew was killing.
No,
They got in the mix. They got in
no,
the mix.
this year,
Slew
I mean,
was
they
killing.
had sold out games. Nelly went to a game this year. That's how you.
That's hard. That's
No,
hard. I would
Nelly
love to
went
see
to a
that
game
on the
this year. So
news.
this is probably the coach was just talking about it. Because Magic Johnson was in St. Louis last night at the Missouri Athletic Club downtown. It's like a college basketball award something ceremony.
Okay. I was about to say he getting money out there. No, he just hanging out for college. Okay.
Yeah, so Magic, but either way, they were talking to Slew's coach, and he was like, "Yeah, this is probably the most anticipated basketball season in St. Louis University history." And you know,
coming off of the run that they just had.
yeah, and so
I'm sure they probably got some good recruits too.
No, they got 9 people. Everybody coming back.
Oh, nice.
Pretty much. So yeah, you know, kind of interesting from that standpoint. But then yesterday, the other day, we had the WNBA draft. Shout out to Asia Foot.
Right.
Again, Morris. I mean, the
the
story was right there. Julian, I don't know. Maybe you were kind of out of commission when we kind of started this storyline on our podcast, but you know, I have this theory that the WNBA is missing out on a lot of the storylines because they don't promote and talk about the relationships in the league. Yeah. And the number 1 pick just got who was dating last year's number 1 pick. Now they're on the same team. That was the NBA.
Yeah.
If Cooper Flagg's fucking boyfriend was coming to
right.
Would be having a field day with that shit.
You know, I was thinking about that too when that happened, and then of course I get on TikTok or whatever, and I see 5-6 videos of them speculating: is it a real soft launch? Why they didn't kiss? They trying to keep it low key. I'm like, it's great. So like the organic shit is working. Like the storylines from the fans, the fan fiction or fan speculation is all happening. I do think that they could make a shit ton of money if the league did embrace it more. One, it's inclusive, it's progressive. The girls are the girls. They're different fan base anyway. They operate differently than how guy fans. It's so much more space for that over there, I think. But also, it's kind of juicy. You know, like if you like a good like sports underlying a story that they're gonna be talking about on TV.
Jackie Young started dating her ex-teammate's girlfriend.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Ran up on them out of town. What are you talking about? This like love and basketball or something.
Yeah, that's real like aggressive, like that's the real aggressive lesbian type vibe.
Bro, it's so great. It makes the games a little bit better and more interesting to me.
Because you can tell they really don't like each other in a different type of way too.
Yeah,
it's real like love and basketball dropout.
Yeah, it's a little different. But shout out to Asia Foot. You know, shout out to the number 1 pick. Angel Reese did get traded from Chicago.
Yeah, I know. Fuck the city up, man. But they came back with some zingers. They came back with some zingers. I saw as soon as I saw Skylar Diggins, I said, you know what? They did something. They had a couple other signees as well.
They signed the LA Sparks traded Rickea Jackson.
Bam. That's a big deal.
News.
Yeah. That's a big
deal. That's huge news that they re-upped and basically kind of got like another lottery pick star. I don't know what the Sparks are doing. I have no idea what they're doing.
But they be dragging Angel Reese through the mud, like her missing like mad layups and shit. Is that real or is just people clip for rage baiting?
That's clickbait.
Yeah.
Like she
killing. Fans love her. No, she's killing.
She's killing. Her getting doubles like a motherfucker, bro. Like,
bro, she a machine, bro.
She don't get that
it's kind of like what they be doing to Bronny, probably.
No, she's like 15 and 15.
Come up era.
Angel Reese every night, 15 every night.
Yeah.
Do something.
Because they be really trying to drag her on them clips.
Yeah, 20 but low-key, speaking of Bronny, I know that he fucked the city up when he got out there with his daddy. That first assist in NBA history for father-son assist. That shit was lit. But he kind of had a good year in the G League too. Like you could tell he's developing. You could tell he's more confident. And I think just with the unfortunate like injuries of like Luka and Austin and all that, Bronny kind of had to step a little bit more up or whatever. But like you kind of like your daddy is LeBron, but also like LeBron is like your vet.
There's so much pressure.
So he kind of coach you too. But like it's just certain like it was a clip of like when Bronny had did the pass overhead.
He like pass that shit.
And niggas like that kind of looked like a real father-son moment for real. Definitely and it did. But like honestly, after like kind of got that shit going, Bronny been looking a little pumpy. He been out there getting money in garbage time, but it's like you feel better the more that ball go in, especially when like niggas was just hating on you, bro. You
Yeah,
got
like you
bigger,
want to feel
you got
bad.
better,
That's what
like
I
you
would
more
say.
locked in.
Watching the tournament this year, I was like, bro, I wanted to see Bronny in a tournament so bad. I feel like Bronny
Yeah,
was made for March Madness. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
I feel like because especially seeing Bryce sitting on the bench, kind of red shirted, and now with the NCAA, I mean, we don't have to stay here too long, but the NCAA basically is implementing a rule. They saying that they only gonna allow 5 years of eligibility, pretty much. So
I
Oh,
thought they
that's right,
went up
because
to
they had a
6.
couple of older niggas that was out there too. That
So
was
what they
kind of
saying,
yeah.
what they basically trying to stop is like the niggas that's 27, 28, because it's like you either got 5 years of eligibility or it's like 5 years after your 19th birthday or something like that, or like your high school graduation. So it's 5 years from your high school graduation or your 19th birthday, I
Something
think.
like in that 23 to 26 range. Like, yeah, it's time for you to
They're trying
leave.
to go 23, 22. I feel like they're trying to
Mm.
because you got to think
Well,
you
when you
got
say
to
with the 19th birthday, but even still, 5 is actually fucking 24.
That's because they just changed it. Because when I was playing, you only got 1 year for red shirt, and if you got injured, that counted as a year
I
off.
give you a
So
year.
Mhm,
you
Right.
you had to
mhm.
be injured. But and then I would have did my whole career differently. But then now then they recalibrating because motherfuckers are able to get like 7 years. Like you was able to do
Bro,
2 years JUCO and then 4 years in fucking
Yeah, and
literally.
college
honestly, with the NIL
and a red
money,
shirt.
cats
That's
will
seven
probably stick
years.
around a little longer too. So it's like they kind of got to clear the pipeline up a little bit more because it can get clogged if you 21, 22 and raw, and it's like shit. I don't know if I'm gonna actually start in the league, but I'm making like 2 mil off the NIL. You might
Crazy.
stay in college a little longer.
You need to
Yeah,
stay
bro.
on
You
that
might as
college.
well.
That is so crazy to me. But
Mhm.
I mean for the playoffs, well, first off, do you guys have a who's your all's MVP?
I Wemby is my personal number one, really rooting for him. I saw that players poll, the anonymous players poll. It's like it's hella SGA, so he probably will win, whatever. But like Wemby, and honestly, the best story to me was Jalen fucking Brown, bro. I really liked how he held down the fort because I think a lot of niggas discounted him before. Like, sure, they would have been something, but for them to be as good as they are, and honestly, Detroit, shout out to them too. They had a hell of a season as well. Shout out Cade, da 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 da. But like, for the Celtics to kind of sit right there and like be in contention most of the season on the back of Jalen Brown, nah, man, he deserves some flowers too. But to me, is Wemby. That nigga is the best player in the league to me.
That's real.
Maybe over Joker, not over Joker just yet, but like Wemby is raw. Them alien campaigns is about to level the fuck up because this nigga highlight reel is crazy.
It is crazy.
That
Yeah.
shit funny about how many Jalen's there are in the NBA. A lot of them, the mixed breed kids. It's like 30,
Somebody said a
40
song
Jalen's in the
about that. I saw.
NBA. Yeah.
That's so
Uh,
funny.
is Steph Curry in the finals? I have no idea who's in the finals.
No. We talk about
Nah,
the
Oh yeah.
the
You say
MVP
what?
MVP,
this year.
MVP
The
Oh,
MVP.
the
race.
NBA. I have no idea.
No idea.
Yeah, I'm
But
about to say Julian like is he plays sports, but that nigga don't really be watching too much TV. I think in sports these
I
days.
haven't
Yeah.
watched as many games this year because of the streaming situation. I just be forgetting the
Same,
games are on, and so it just be
same.
throwing me off. But I got SGA, OKC for MVP because you got to knock the champ out. You know what I'm saying?
Type shit,
And
type
he
shit.
had the number one record in a
Who's
better
SBA?
conference.
Who's
Shea
SBA?
Gilchrist
That
Alexander.
Gilgis Alexander. If you
This.
ever see, he be getting kind of like posted in like the
Like
most.
the fat
He's
guy,
one of the more stylish, kind of flamboyant guys in the league or whatever. From
got
Toronto,
Converse.
Jamaican nigga, went to Kentucky. He raw, he raw. He got a mean ass midi. That nigga,
Nah, that
that
nigga
nigga
raw.
come
I
get
watch
some.
some
Uh,
SGA highlights tonight, nigga.
That nigga.
I watch some SGA highlights tonight for
And
sure.
the OKC team is just scary too. Like my Chet Holmgren, my favorite white boy in the league by far. That's my
That's
nigga
real.
right there, man. Yeah, the
I,
other
I'll,
Jalen, like they
I,
all.
will I'm
Hmm,
going SGA. Wemby, obviously, for a defensive player. I agree with you. Like you
yes,
said, all of them on first team. I guess I'll put Luca on the first team, even though they're trying to hold him out for the baby
yeah,
mama
yeah, yeah,
drama
yeah,
and
yeah,
all that shit.
yeah, yeah.
But I
Luca
think
got baby mama drama.
Oh
He
man,
does that baby mama drama. It's
Luca.
his long time shorty. They just say
Uh,
get married
Yeah,
basically.
go
they.
ahead. We can go back to it, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't.
Nah,
Look that up too. That's some
yeah,
drama too.
it's some drama.
It's some drama.
Luka
Boy
Doncic.
been hooping out his mind. The baby mama
Yeah.
drama came, man. He started
I
hooping
think
out
he's
his.
gonna be better even next year. As long as he don't get hurt, he gonna be. I think. I don't know, man. He looked good in LA.
Well, this is what I will say. It's been a lot of conversation around the 65 game rule, and I don't know, Julian.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
basically, they
yeah.
implemented a 65 game rule that you have to play at least 65 games to
To be
qualify for like
MVP.
MVP, and I think first team. I think. And so, I mean, Wemby made a really good point that he was like, if you play 25 games, but you play,
The whole
30
game.
minutes, yeah, you'll say a whole
Yeah.
game versus somebody that played 50 games and played 20 minutes a game, you know, you could have more minutes. So, how do you really measure it? I guess my big question would be there seems to need to be a new expectation set by the NBA if they want to keep the 82 game season. For
Mm,
instance, how I say that is
That's
like,
a lot of fucking games, bro.
but
for sure.
when you go to baseball and you go to a series, if it's a 3 game series on the third day, if the stars aren't playing, or if it's a 4 game series and the fourth day, like that Sunday, that like Otani not playing, you know why he not playing because it's a 4 game series. He needs to rest, yada
Yeah.
yada yada. You don't
He's
expect
usually
him
your
to play
best
that.
player too. Like you're not trying
It's
to have that nigga.
expectations.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, and this is coming from LeBron. I'll take his word for it. Having played the most different eras that's currently in the league, the game is so much
Innings,
more running
games,
now,
points, all that shit.
and the players are falling apart from the running to some degree. And so it's like, as fans, should we say that, hey, if you can make an NBA roster, you're fucking raw. You can hoop. Like, let's just
Yeah.
leave it there. You know what I'm saying? Should we? Of course, everybody wants to see the stars, but if you see the stars for 65 games, is that enough? Is it less of a product if I have to watch Drew Timmy on the Lakers? I mean, he was a college, probably be a college Hall of Famer. This is a great basketball player. No, it's not Austin Reeves, obviously. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But as a company, does that diminish the product? And that is what a lot of people are complaining about with the tanking, with players having to sit out, is that you don't even know if you're going to be able to see your favorite players when you buy a ticket. I do think that
Right.
is a problem, but I don't know how they fix that. I don't.
I
Besides,
do I do think is I think that the tanking is more of a problem. Low management, I get, especially like sports medicine has also advanced. I'm sure the OGs was probably dealing with a lot of aches and pains that they didn't have the technology or the science to really back up of like fucking diagnose back in the day. And some of them be out here with fucking aching ass knees nowadays because they probably did go too hard. But the tanking, that just is petty, bro. Like that's not cool for real because you
I
still have
saw
a
that on the line. What's
base.
taking? I saw it the other day. What's that?
tanking is basically an issue where, so
My
in the
bad.
NBA, are you good? In the NBA, your lot, like your draft odds to like win the lottery, is based off of your record, and
Yeah, I
so
know that. Yeah.
obviously it's only
Oh,
one.
people are like like if they're having a terrible season, they'll just
Yeah,
keep
it's just like
losing
fuck it,
so
we
they
just
can
gonna
get a
hang it up.
better.
But
Yeah,
it's beyond the losing. What it is like, let's just say the three of us were on a team. You were our best player, right? And maybe you're banged up, but you could actually play. If you want to play, the organization will be like, oh, well, we're not going to play Julian because we want a better draft odds, even though we're not going to make the, like, we're not competing for a championship this year. But if all three of
right.
us played, we would probably win more games, maybe end up as like the ninth seed, right? And that would just throw our draft lottery off. Versus if we would have lost 15 more games, we would probably get a top 4, top 5
That's
pick.
crazy.
Right, right,
And
right, right,
so,
right, right.
Just
I
gaming the
mean,
system. Yeah.
they're trying to figure out ways to actually, find the teams. Like Giannis Antetokounmpo says he's healthy enough to play right now, and the Bucks have not played him in like 2 weeks. The Utah Jazz got niggas sitting on the bench. Laurie Marketing can play right now, and he did not play the end of the season. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of starts
Because then
messing
the
up with competition.
competition goes down. The
Yeah,
fucking it's
I mean,
like
the fans, your ratings, like people don't want to watch shitty games. They don't want to go to them either.
The niggas can play. And we just didn't
Yeah,
grow up with this. I don't know if niggas just had more pride because they had less money. I don't know if niggas just
that'd
were
be what
crazy.
my assumption is. That'd be my assumption. I'd be like, niggas was really getting out the mud back then. Like the CBA has gotten to a point. It's so many protections. Nigga, your minimum contracts is like juicy. The WNBA minimum salary. Shout out to that too. We didn't get to like talk about the
Oh yeah,
CBA getting approved,
CBA.
but we was rooting for them. Shout out to the ladies out there too for theirs. But like, yeah, you could kind of be a bum or like a cat that's really just a further down the bench on some reserve type shit and still be eating good out here cooling because
Yeah,
like your minimum contract is decent. So it's like, what's the you know you're not about to be LeBron. You damn near it's lazy ass niggas in the league too that don't care to win. That's
right.
just there for their check, bro. And now you just got a whole roster of them that ain't no sharks. They not going out there to try to kill it. It's it's
Yeah.
it's a tough situation to be in because like what do you do? Get some European niggas that's hungry, some international players that's
But I'm
hungry.
saying
It's
that's
all,
not the
I don't
problem.
know.
They got the talent. The
Yeah,
problem is
yeah,
they're throwing the games. They want better draft odds. So I mean,
yeah, yeah.
NBA
But to do nothing with them, you get the Spurs, they turn that shit around. I guess okay, see, but that was a building process for a minute, but still, I guess, but like Milwaukee not about to do that
I
shit.
say you democratize the drafts. Every team already has a different financial situation. So you just take the players, you rank the players, and you say, Darren Peterson, you're the number one ranked guy, according to the NBA. What team do you want to go to based off of the salary cap that they have? So, for instance, if he picked the Lakers, okay, but they already paying Luka Doncic, they already paying Austin Reeves. They gonna have to pay LeBron next year, so maybe he will make less money. But if he was to pick the Utah Jazz, you know what I'm
It'd
saying?
be really
He
banned
get
up.
guapped out. He can get the
Yeah,
bread. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because that's how
yeah.
I mean, that's how you get your job. You apply for your jobs, and if they
Right.
agree,
That'd
you know what I'm
be an
saying?
interesting concept for sure.
I heard Gilbert Arenas say that. Gilbert Arenas actually said that. He was like, you should just let the players pick because that is kind of real. That's what players end up doing anyway, and that's kind of what follow what's happening in eyeball, what's happening in college. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody can't go to every team. Like that's just naturally what it would be. So it would put
Right.
more on the teams to create better facilities, how they treat the
yeah,
players, the
because you try to
program.
want to, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The arena, the fans, the community, like the community would get involved with it. It's like, oh my God, like
Right, right, right,
It's
right,
like
like if
even
right,
in
Cooper
right.
college
Flag,
where
he might have went to the Boston Celtics. He's from Maine. What if Cooper Flag says, I'll take less money. I just want to be a Celtic. I want to play.
That actually would have been hard because to
It
see
would have
him
been
in Boston with
crazy.
them would go
It
crazy.
would have been crazy.
I think that's what was that what Anthony Edwards did or somebody like they could have went to some I don't know if it was him, but they could have went to some big school and they decided to go to their local college or
Yeah,
their
Anthony
state
at
college.
Georgia.
Yeah,
He
he
went
ended up going to state college and then he still killed.
still kill. Because that's what I'm saying. The talent is a talent. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So, but yeah, the NBA has that problem. But it's an overall viewership. Like I said, I don't know how the streaming went for them. I know for me, it really I never enjoyed it all year. Maybe next year I'll just get better with it.
yeah,
Gambling is obviously an issue. You know,
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my God.
yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
People going crazy on the
I,
parlays.
I I will say though, now that we at the end of the season, I'm very happy that they brought NBC back into the picture though.
That's fair.
Amazon doing their thing. I think they got a good like they dipped a good foot inside of it more than the toe. Like I like what they campaign looking like as
Amazon was
well.
good.
Yeah. I literally just am not a fan of having to bounce over to Amazon. At least on my YouTube TV, I can do ESPN, I can do NBC, ABC, all of that. I gotta always bounce out of that to go over to Prime, and it just be a little clunky. So if they just handle some of that back end UX UI situation, cool, because the programming is there. But NBC, yeah, I'm looking forward to the playoffs and the finals over there.
That's fine.
People feeling like that about I don't know if this is a segue, but people feeling like that about the YouTube sensations going over to Netflix, like the Breakfast
Oh
Club,
yeah, that's the
like
thing.
the
That's the
Breakfast
thing.
Club,
Yeah.
like you just landlocked on. Like I see them. I never click them joints on Netflix.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
haven't I
they
haven't
complaining. They
watched
been
it either.
fucking man, like y'all gotta watch us over here too. Y'all was fucking with us back then. But
And they
so a
started
lot of people
to,
do have Netflix. I don't use Netflix, so
but they've
that's
started
my
to put like their clips. They'll put clips on YouTube. Like Bill Simmons. I used to watch Bill Simmons all the time on YouTube. And
yeah.
I've tried watch. I
You,
watched a lot less because he's on Netflix, but he'll put now he posts reels constantly on YouTube because it's like, to Julian's point, like his fans aren't used to doing that. And honestly, it's a worse experience because of Netflix's player. They don't have chapters, which is a really big thing for me watching podcasts. Like I may only want to
mm,
watch Bill Simmons talk about the NBA part. I don't really want to have to speed through and watch him talk to his daddy about Wimbledon or the Masters. Like I don't want to watch that. You know what I'm saying? I really just can't talk about the NBA, his end of the year awards or something like that. So I think that actually is like a thing that, I mean, for them, I'm sure they got the money. For Netflix, they're trying to create the new user behavior. Um,
mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. It's interesting. I feel like, I hate to say it this way, but it's like YouTube is the best because it's
It
like,
is. It is.
yeah, you could just throw some, like, how do they make money off of it? I think that the big broadcasters and the big networks got to stop being scary money, because like the issues that they claim they had with Jimmy Kimmel and all this other stuff, it wouldn't have that issue if they just would
Wouldn't have the
be
issue
on.
if it was. Yeah,
Like we talk
yeah, yeah.
about that all the time. So
No, I were you about to say something, Julian? I saw you.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it was like a two-way part, like based on that talk about the do or die thing you sent.
That
The
okay? I was
media.
about to reference some of that
Yeah.
too, but I'll give it to
So
you.
like with Jess So Serious, who's like one of the co-hosts on Breakfast Club, she kind
Just
of gave like,
hilarious.
oh, Jess hilarious. Yeah, Jess So Serious.
that's pretty
I
good.
love it. She needs
Jess,
that as an alter ego character.
yeah, Jess So Serious. Jess hilarious. She was just like talking about like they got to figure out other ways of content because everything that's Breakfast Club is Netflix. Like they wanted the whole shebang, and
Yeah,
so
yeah,
she
yeah.
used
And they
that to
spent
like
that
push her own
bread for
thing.
all of that IP.
I mean, yeah, because Netflix got all this money, but to the point on that, I forget what the thing with PBS. Buddy was like people that's going over to Netflix, like Mr. Beast and Just Hilarious. I mean, Breakfast Club. They're
Breakfast
gonna kind
Club.
of fall into that old network effect that happened to television, which is
Mm-hmm.
kind of giving way to like 90%. 90% of people use YouTube, like unless you like some old person over 50 or something,
They use
old.
YouTube.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. That's the older
and
people are
nobody
the
under
fastest growing demographic on YouTube.
and nobody under 40 wants to look at TV or whatever. But like that whole Netflix thing, like you said, the chapters ain't there. My me able to bounce around. It's just
Comments.
Yeah,
like
Comments are
yeah,
like
happening
yeah,
no matter
yeah,
what.
yeah,
yeah, the
yeah,
comment.
yeah.
And that's why that's so interesting to me. And I actually would like to end on this and ask you all's opinion. Like, he made a really good point about how the retention rate is falling between the different subscribers, right? Like, I wouldn't subscribe to HBO Max anymore. I just get it with my cable package. It's just free. So now I just kind of pay for it through the cable package, which is the same thing as on
Mm-hmm,
demand streaming,
mm-hmm.
whatever. We talk about that a lot. But if we're all saying that, like, yes, I want to watch Hey Arnold. If Nickelodeon just put the Hey Arnold on YouTube, it would have millions and millions and millions of views.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
We just
yeah.
know, like,
So
for fact, right. So is that what it's just? Are we just waiting our time until that's what it is?
that's funny because that was basically what I was going to kind of allude to. I think it was on the episode that Buddy on PBS was referencing that he had watched like another recent podcast of him or whatever. On that one, he was kind of breaking down because he'd been around in the industry as an executive and producer for 7 years, so he got some insider insight too. He was proposing that Disney basically does that because I guess somebody a little while back did the numbers. They're basically missing out on $1 billion a year in revenue. Disney is by just simply not let all of the movies and IP that they got on YouTube that you got to pay to rent. If they just unlock that, they would at least make a good billion off of the shit. Just
That is
alone, just off of opening it
crazy.
up.
Do you know how
Yeah,
crazy the comments on the Lion King would be on YouTube? And it was on YouTube.
exactly. Being able to like clip that into shorts and do other shit with it nowadays, because you can also TikTokify content and things like that. Like, and that probably might have been a better move for them to do than doing the whole Sora situation with ChatGPT, which
I
failed
agree.
after like a
That was
month or whatever
stupid.
the case may
So
be.
stupid.
So, I his whole point was his prediction was like we, even though creators will always be around, we're inching closer to the end of like peak creator economy. And what he feels is going to happen is the bigger, more legacy, traditional kind of like companies, they have no choice but to pivot and adapt to this. And he foresees some of that happening. He was kind of referencing like, I can't say everything just yet because the ink ain't dry, but he was saying like, I know for a fact that more of this is going to come. So maybe he was hinting at Disney because Disney gonna happen, or you trying to convince them to when somebody else is doing it. But we are likely going to see more democratization of hardly IP'd content on YouTube, and that's fine. That's fine for me. I want it. I think that honestly, at this point, if you paying for a streaming service, I should be able to see all of your content. Like, ain't no reason for you got to keep going on prices, and I can't see more and more of what I want to see. I want to be able to go on BT Plus and watch an old Rap City episode if I can. I don't know some of the legal shit when it comes to like the music and versus the old times, but I think that we're going to have to see, they're going to have to innovate, because otherwise you will get more Mr. Beast and these podcasts and other things, because it's all the attention economy and everybody's vying just simply for more people to pay attention to what the fuck you made versus everybody else. And knowing how popular UGC is and how big influencers are and all that stuff, all it takes is just somebody that you fuck with a little bit more than Hey Arnold to be on your screen at any given moment, and you probably will pay attention more to that. The best thing you might as well do is leave it all out there, because a nigga like me on a rainy ass Sunday afternoon, I might just go to that Hey Arnold.
You definitely are, nigga.
Exactly.
I think there's like a gift and a curse with being like a legacy brand and being always available. Where there is something special about not always being able to access Hey Arnold or clip Lion King, where everything else seems like a throwaway. And I think like everything's a remake. And I think as we get older, I start to realize, like when my parents meant like, oh, we used to do that in the 80s, and how old the 80s used to sound when I was a kid, but I was born in 89, August of 89. But it was like, oh, 82, that's so fucking old. Now we're like the unks and whatever. And what I'm saying, like, it's like a gift and a curse, whether it's like the young kids will now be able to see Lion King and Hey Arnold and all that stuff if they want to. But is there like this thing of being like gating it so it's not always readily available, so you can separate yourself from this is that goated legacy shit versus everything else? Kind of like with, the artist formerly known as Prince, where he was like, I don't want my access to be readily available. I'm up here, and also just like legal shit or whatever, like where he wanted to own all this stuff. I don't know. It's like a sweet spot. But also, I just love the democratization of millions and millions of fucking channels.
Yeah, it's the internet.
It might be really similar to probably what it was like when libraries first started. Like to some degree, when books were what we're kind of talking about, the forefront of media to that point. Once you just allow people to go check out a book for free, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying we stopped caring about books as much, but it just put a different type of level of access. So even to your point, Julian, books come out every year, but you really have to go out of your way to read. Like somebody had to put you on the Cat in the Hat.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's an old ass book. Everybody watch it every year. And that's what I'm saying. The niggas who made that, they made that. You don't get to stay in the spot forever. The corporations actually run monopolies, and they shouldn't be the number one. They shouldn't even be the number one company.
Right.
They cheated. You know what I'm saying? Like in real life, that's what happened. Like they cheated. You know what I'm saying?
They rigged it. They rigged it through legal shit and fucking outbuying everything. But I will say it kind of reminds me. I know I had sent it to Ryan recently, and I've been kind of having back and forth with Taji, my older little brother or whatever. He in his mid-20s, and he grew up listening to all this stuff because he got younger parents and big siblings and stuff like that. But he swear that like the young cats is like killing it, and I'm like, I just don't hear that many classics that like make me go back for a longer shelf life. And then the data had recently came out that actually on music streaming services, it's older music that's getting streamed a lot more than the newer stuff. I think I've heard some good arguments, and I like the point someone had made just about it's so much of it coming out all at once that it's even hard to just keep up with the music that's going on. And we tend to be creatures of habit where we go back to things that already resonate with us anyway. But it's like the new shit is now backfield because you could just go and listen to Thriller all the time. The one thing I think that was a true difference maker was when we went into an pay a fee, subscription fee, and you have unlimited access to everything in our library, as opposed to like that feeling of you bought it. I had a decent DVD collection, I had a great CD collection. That was mostly what I was listening to, was the stuff that I bought. And that was what my time and attention and money went to, you know, and also physical media sales meant a lot more back then. And with the streaming sales doing all that stuff, so it was a better business model for the corporations as well as all the actual workers up in the middle and all of that stuff. And we've kind of the same the people who barely have good social skills also built this up for us too. It's just another thing they fucking up art, they fucking up culture, they fucking up the environment. I don't know, man. I don't think we going off a cliff just yet, but I think that we looking at a map, and it's time that we it's a fork in the road. We either gonna drive off a cliff or we got to start making a detour so we don't go off that cliff.
And I think that's where I'm like all in on the advancements of technology and not really worrying about the ecological deterioration, because I forgot who was like, money is power and access is power, and I rather not pick it outside with no power. And that's great for a bunch of people with no voice, but I feel like when you know X amount of stuff and you can gain access by using your noggin to become one of those corporations. And I don't think we've ever seen, like, imagine if one of those AI people, like I picture myself like Sam Altman, or I think the Dario, whatever, the dude from Anthropic, like, or fucking dude from Zuck or whatever. Like, we haven't seen nobody at that level that look like us, that we feel like we can trust that person with the shit that we're doing. And I feel like that's how we fuck the game up, and not hope that all of a sudden they're gonna have a change of heart, or all of a sudden they're gonna do something responsible with your data, or all of a sudden they're gonna build something worthwhile with meaning and a visceral experience. So like, I think that's why I'm like, just go all in and break shit and fuck shit up, because then we can try to, I mean, competing with YouTube is stupid, but like, how do we create something that's new, that's bespoke to us, because we have seen hip hop, we've seen our culture permeate countries, permeate language barriers, everything. So imagine what happens when we harness technology at the level in which hasn't been seen before. It's a fucking rap, dog. It's a fucking rap.
Man, that's it. We're gonna end it right there, man.
Yeah.
Logik, we appreciate you. You're a gentleman.
Yeah,
You're a scholar.
Appreciate y'all, dog. Y'all my brothers, dog.
Yeah.
It's a
Mar,
good one.
so next
The
time,
clips
I'm
gonna
putting
go
this.
crazy.
Not putting this in the recording. Logik, you got to come back. We got to do like you got to give us like some demonstrations, man. Please do,
Oh
like,
yeah, that'd be tight. That'd be super tight.
I'm thinking about, like, we really do want this to be like a resource for people. I would love to be able to come on here and just be like, even showing just some of the work that we do. Like, I'm creating like an operating system. Like, I've already included like how to help. Like, I'm thinking about how to help Mars like make content from this for his Substack, for the reels that we're doing, for the website that I'm building, for the like, I'm creating all that shit. And it's like, yeah, we laying out blueprints that motherfuckers are gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like you said,
Yeah.
access.
I'm creating an agent that posts for me on my own Instagram.
That's literally what I was up late making last night. My AI
y'all agent, so I can stop posting too, because I don't want to post no more either. So, yeah.
And you be pumping Julian on front of the camera now. I'm like, yeah.
I'm trying to quit that shit. But okay. I just putting that out there. So we'll be back, y'all.
Hell yeah. Easy.
Appreciate y'all. Peace.
All right, y'all. Peace.